Good afternoon. Welcome back to Austin News Today. We are joined by a wonderful author. Of course, summer is a time when teachers encourage children to do lots of reading, summer reading, and there is a wonderful book that's available right now for middle school children written by Pamela Ferguson. She is an author, and this is her first children's book called Sunshine, Picklelime. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you, Katina. I'm delighted.
Well, thank you. I love the story of this book because it talks all about how to handle situations that you don't expect, which is a life lesson. And children sometimes experience things every day that they don't expect, and they have to learn how to handle it. So tell me a little bit about the background of the story and where you came up with the whole story.
I think it pretty well wrote itself very spontaneously. And of course it started off with a little girl who rehabs a lost bird, and she's got this wildly bushy hair that I used to have as a child as well. And she hides the bird until there's an oil spill, and then she cuts her hair because a rallying cry goes out for hair from all the hair cutters to fill the booms to sop up the oil, which is exactly the same thing that's happening now in the Gulf. So that's her first indication of, how can I say it, of community activism. And then the bird that she rehabs goes on to rehab some gulls that are orphaned by the oil spill. So that sort of pace sets the book. But she also encounters the divorce of her parents and the loss of a very dear friend, which a lot of kids go through.
Yes.
And of course, as a 9-year-old, I went through some very similar experiences. And there was very little out there. And I think the thing is that a lot of teachers and a lot of people seem to want to euphemize about these things, and I think the more realistically you can handle them, and the more you give kids tools by which they can navigate, explain and explore these situations in a way that gives them some inner strength to move on and through it, the better. So she wrote her own story, basically.
And we have to say that this book was written before the Gulf oil spill. It's just ironic that it's so timely now. And the picture on the front of her hair, I love her hair because it reminds me of my daughter's hair a little bit. But we've done stories about hair booms and people in the hair cutting industry, dog hair and also human hair, are using hair for the hair booms. But in the end, how does Sunshine handle all of her life issues? How does she handle it in the end?
I think basically by continuing to rehab birds and rehab animals that are injured, and she does this together with a very dear friend called Ruth, and also by spending a lot of time with neighbors of all different backgrounds, ages, ethnic backgrounds, religions, and so on, to ask many life's questions that she was feeling very baffled about. And this is great because she would sort of seek wisdom from a wide variety of people, neighbors and also teachers. And this helped her to move on and move through creative blocks and really just establish her own sense of identity, especially when her parents split up. And this was very important because she is an only child, so she had no siblings to turn to. Therefore, she turned to friends and neighbors and to animals and also to nature. She recycled rain and she crafted her own garden and really sort of drew a lot on nature and would run out at night to look at the moon and moonbows and things like that. So the universe was very much there for her as a soulmate, and that's a very important part of the story that I think kids will enjoy.
I think she's quite a little green activist too.
Oh, totally a green activist.
Now, there's a reference in here to making lemonade, and you know, there's a saying that goes, when life hands you lemons, make lemonade. Talk a little bit about that too.
Absolutely. Well, her wonderful neighbor Mrs. Patel, who's from Madras, India, has this beautiful lemon grove, and they decide to set up a lemonade stand really to earn money to help with the cleanup crew on the beach and to take down to the beach to give to the cleanup crew and so on. So that was just something where she used an item that was already in the environment, like her friend's lemons, and also she learned how to turn it into something very delicious. And then there's a wonderful Swiss chocolate maker in the village.
What could be better than chocolate?
What could be better than that? Who actually crafts a very exquisite truffle out of that same lemon nectar that she has created. So it's as though one creative task or project kind of weaves itself into future ones, which was lovely for her.
Thank you for being here. Pamela Ellen Ferguson will be reading at Book People on August 15th.
At 2 p.m.
At 2 p.m. And for more information, which location?
It's Book People down on 5th and Lamar.
On 5th and Lamar. So if you'd like to listen to some of her book reading, you can do that August 15th at 2 p.m. Thank you for being with us today. We appreciate it. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Thank you very much, Katina.